All right, so if you are a complete beginner at investing and you are looking to put some money and start investing in 2023, this is the video for you. If that's not you and you have a lot of experience investing and you know what you're doing, then go find a different video. This is not the one for you. Okay, so let's get started. So if I had either $10,000, $1,000, or $100 to invest starting in 2023, this is where I would be putting my money if I was just getting started. So let's start with the $10,000 one first, because that one is actually a little more boring than the other two, just in my personal opinion. So for the $10,000 one, what we're going to do is we're going to invest in something called the VOO. Now, what is the VOO? VOO. That is an index fund that is on the stock market. So instead of going out and just buying shares of Apple or buying shares of Microsoft, buying shares of Ford, individual companies, the VOO is made up of over 500, I think it's 503 different companies, and you're getting a tiny portion of each one. And what you're really doing is you are just investing in the American economy. If the economy in general is going to go really well, these 500 companies are very largely representative of it, then it's going to go up. If the economy is not doing well, it's going to go down. But you are diversified, which means you're not going to have huge ups or huge downs. And over time, it is normally returned pretty well, normally around 9% over the long term. Now, that's an average. It's definitely not it. And because we're actually in a down year, that bodes well for the years upcoming. Normally, it's great to buy when things are low. So if I had $10,000, I had no experience whatsoever in investing, I didn't know what I was doing, this is the best place, in my opinion, that I would be putting my money without having done any kind of research, because it's incredibly safe. It's been around for a very long time, and historically, it's had positive returns. So that's where I would start with the $10,000. Okay, so what about $1,000? Hey, I've only got $1,000 to invest in 2023. Where should I put my money? This one's a little bit different. This is not an index fund, if that's what you were thinking. This is something called upskill. Now, what is upskilling? So whatever you're doing for a job, or maybe you're a college graduate, you don't have a job yet, or whatever the case is, upskilling is just the practice of taking whatever it is you do and getting better at it. Now, a lot of people don't realize that the fastest way to getting to $100,000 net worth and then getting to your first million actually has to do with the amount of income that you have. So one of the biggest indicators is, do you have a higher income? If you do, the velocity, how fast and the direction of your overall net worth is going to, more than anything else, depend on how much money you are bringing in on a monthly basis with your income. So to upskill, if you are a carpenter and you just know how to cut boards and do some basic trim and different things like that, can you spend $1,000 and go out, take a master class somewhere, get a tutor, whatever the case is, and instead of just being a carpenter who knows how to cut boards and do nails into new houses that are being built, could you learn how to build like custom cabinetry? You could, because you're still doing the same amount of work, you're still using the same materials, but now you're able to create these beautiful custom cabinets. And for the amount of time that you're working, you're going to make a lot more money than just $15 an hour. So by upskilling, maybe another quick example, maybe you know social media really well. And you're like, I was managing somebody's Facebook page, but now everybody's really starting to move over to TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. So if you know a little bit about Facebook, well, if you went and you said, okay, I'm going to learn a lot about TikTok advertising, how to run ads on TikTok, or how to do it on YouTube, whichever one you want to do, you can take some courses, read some books, and spend some time really learning how to do that and upskilling on your existing skill sets. And that is going to increase your income and make you much more valuable in the workplace. That also really helps in times like this when there's a recession and there's a lot of layoffs happening, because you become more valuable for the company that you're working for. And if you're freelancing, it's even better, because now you can make more money because you have a new revenue stream. It's like, hey, before I was just helping people with Facebook, but now I'm helping people run TikTok ads. That's a completely different company, or I'm sorry, completely different customer, different line of revenue. So that's where I would spend is $1,000. That's where you're going to get the best return, is by just getting better at whatever it is that you're already doing. Okay, so for the last one, $100. Steven, I just don't have a lot of money. I'm kind of broke. I have $100, but I really want to start investing. What should I do? Well, here you go. This is exactly what I would invest in 2023 if I only had $100. There you go. I would buy 2 books, and don't worry, I'm going to show you the books. I would get a pen and paper. That'll run you a couple cents. And I would go buy dinner. And let me explain why. So I've got the books right here. So the first one that I would do, if you only have if you only have $100 to invest, that tells me a couple things about you. It tells me that you have a low net worth, and it tells me that you are probably breaking even on a monthly basis. Expenses are really high, and that could be for a lot of reasons. Maybe you don't have a very good income. Maybe you have a great income. You're just spending too much money. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. If you only have $100 to invest, you've got to get some things straight in your life first. So the first book that I'm going to recommend has nothing to do with money at all, actually. And it is called Essentialism by Greg McKeown. Now, this book is honestly one of my favorite books that I've read in the past 5 years, and I read about 25 books a year. So that's a lot of books. And one of the reasons it's my favorite, it doesn't have anything to do with like minimalism and not having a lot of stuff in your house. What essentialism is really about is learning how to kind of go and just say, what is significant to me? What's important to me in my life? What is it that I'm trying to accomplish? And what is just distraction? What is just kind of a waste? I'm probably doing too many things. We're all way too busy. And a lot of times we're busy with things that aren't helping us really achieve the things that we think that are important. So because of that, Essentialism is the best book for you to start with, because in order for you to increase your income, to start learning, to make more money, to live a life of significance, all these different things, you're probably going to need to cut out some stuff. You're probably going to need to stop doing certain things completely, and other things are going to have to start reducing time in. This book is a fantastic way to kind of get your crap together. So yeah, highly recommend that one. So that's that. The next one that I would recommend, and again, this is just general advice for the population out there. The next one is going to be How to Get Paid for What You Know by Graham Cochran. Now, Graham was a guy who was an audio engineer, and like 10, 11 years ago, before having an online course or anything like that was popular at all, basically what he was trying to do was he was like, man, I wish like I could teach people what I know online. So he did a hodgepodge of systems and eventually created his own online course. And then he started making, hundreds of dollars, and then all of a sudden thousands of dollars, and then hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it became his full-time gig. And now he's teaching people how to monetize the knowledge they have. And the reality is this: you probably, if you think like, what's the one thing that I do better than anybody? Like what's the one thing that you could pull 1,000 people out of a crowd, and out of 1,000 people, nobody's going to be able to beat you at that one thing? What would that be? It could be anything from, making your grandma's empanadas to, knowing how to surf to, shooting, one of the best free throws on a basketball court. There's a lot of different things it could be. So what you can do is you can take that knowledge, and by walking through his system, you can kind of lay out a course, and you can put it online. And you have 2 options, and he doesn't talk about the second option as much, but he primarily focuses on getting the course set up. But you don't even have to set up a course, and they're really easy to do, by the way. You can check out places like Kajabi or Teachable, Circle. These are all platforms that allow you to do it. But all you really need to do is just, if you don't want to start a course, you can go and you can start coaching people. Like, just think about it. It's like if you took 2 hours out of your weekend and you did 4 30-minute blocks for coaching. Maybe you teach guitar or piano or tennis or whatever it is that you do, how to cook, really good, delicious meals at home, whatever it is, and just throw it out on social media. Ask your friends, ask your neighbors if anybody's willing to do that. You can make an extra $200 in a couple hours, and you start doing that on every single weekend on the basis. And the next thing you know, maybe you're making $1,000, maybe you get a couple more people, you're making $2,000, whatever the case is. But the point is that you are learning business. And the reason that I say that you get pen and paper and you get dinner is because the books will probably run you, at most, if you buy them brand spanking new, $40. So another $1 for the pen and paper. And then the dinner, go buy yourself a nice dinner, $50. go by yourself, and just sit there with a pen and paper and think, what's my superpower? What is it that I do better than anybody else? And then when you know that, start scribbling it down and then start figuring out whether or not that's something that you could free up time for and start teaching people how to do to make a little extra money. You're going to learn about business, you're going to make a little extra money on the side, and who knows, maybe it'll turn into something bigger. But if I only had $100, that's exactly what I would do. I would spend that time at dinner just figuring out what my superpower is, figuring out a way that I could blast it out to a couple people, pick up a couple quick clients, or turn it into a course, and then I would use that as the money that I'm investing, because education and making more money, there's not much better ways to invest your money than that. So hopefully this was helpful. Quick guide on how to invest your money in 2023. And check out the channel if you want more advanced stuff. Go to the podcast, have a lot of things there. I focus a lot on helping people go from 0 to 100K. And then once they get to that 100K, accelerating to that first million. So if that's something you're interested in, you can check out my website, and it's in the description below. And that's it. Until our paths cross again.